Master Fayfar, I need to speak with you. I found out something about the counterfeit coin.
Did you really? Do tell.
Close to Rovna, I came across a wagon that was transporting the false coins. Unfortunately, I came too late. The carter and his men were dead.
Damn and blast. Do you know who did it?
Yes. A certain knight turned up there. Turned out he was also after the forgers.
Well, that is indeed unexpected. Tell me, what did he say?
Его зовут Ульрих.
His name is Ulrich. He looked like a knight, but he refused to show his master's colours.
Ulrich, you say? Could be anyone. Can you describe him?
An older man with a moustache. But for all his grey hairs, he seemed pretty tough to me.
Doesn't match anyone I've heard of. But then we don't even know if Ulrich is his real name.
Я спросил у него, кому он служит, но он не ответил.
I asked him who his liege was, but he refused to tell me.
We live in such strange times. In days past, knights would vie with each other to see who could extol their liege's name the loudest. And today, they take assumed names, hide their emblems, and sneak around the land like thieves.
I got the impression he was hiding his identity because his master's at odds with Sir Radzig.
That may well be. As a staunch supporter of the king, Sir Radzig has many enemies.
Он рассказал мне о том, откуда появляются фальшивые гроши.
He told me that the fake money was being taken to Passau in exchange for gold coins.
Опа,
Then
пришел
that real
и
money was
ушел.
being brought back to the Bohemian lands.
That would explain why those fakes bear the Passau countermark.
His master is allied with the Passau alderman, and they told him to sort it all out.
I wonder who could be behind it all.
Он отдал мне эти бумаги.
He gave me these documents to show you. He seemed to think they prove he was telling the truth. They're the records of the interrogations in Passau, and some other things he said you'd understand better than him.
Let me see. We, the aldermen of the city of Passau, interrogation held this day, put to pen by the quaestor. The place of origin is a monastery in the land of Bohemia. Which sadly confirms my suspicion that something underhand is going on in Sasso. Coin assay report. Copper core coated with amalgam. Ah, but this is interesting. Here's an outline description of how the forgeries are made. I'll have to study it more closely. We command Herr Ulrich to investigate and let no man stand in his way. This looks like the original safe conduct. It has the seal of the Passau alderman, but they certainly didn't pen this.
How do you know?
I recognize the hand. It's a Clement of Kaplitz, the high scribe of the Rosenbergs.
Розенберги.
The Rosenbergs? Who's that?
A rich and powerful family in South Bohemia. Burgrave Henry III is a great rival of our King Wenceslas.
Так что же это значит?
So what does all this mean?
Well, it certainly explains why your knight is so mysterious. Anyway, we should be careful. And we shall begin our investigation. The documents show they use silver amalgam for coating copper fakes. That's a lead we can follow.
What?
Silver amalgam. It's produced from quicksilver and silver.
Well, that doesn't sound like something just anyone can get hold of.
You're quite right. You will go to Sasso at once. Look around the forges in the city. Someone must be working copper for them. I, meanwhile, will take counsel with Sir Radzig and then follow after you.
Where shall we meet?
At the inn on Sasso Market Square. Take care.
And he said to bring you too.
Так, пришел к птачику, а он сказал, что Гануш что-то мутит опять. Вот, Гануш послал за мной, бла-бла-бла. А я тут при чем? Мне это не нравится.
Oh, Sakra. That doesn't sound good.
Indeed. I wonder what he wants to lecture me about this time. And you, because you're going with me.
All right, we should get going then, shouldn't we, Sir Hans? The sooner we get it over and done with, the better.
I suppose so. Right away. I put some of my old clothes in a trunk for you. I don't want you making me look bad in front of Hanush. But I see it wasn't necessary. You look as smart as any courtier.
Thanks. I'll try my best.
So I see. But you can come and get those clothes later anyway. They're a little worn, but they're as fine as anything you'll get in the county.
Нахер мне твоя одежда.
Well, my ward and his, what shall we say, chaperone.
Uncle.
My lord?
I hope we haven't dragged you away from anything too important.
Not at all, Uncle. We were
Like
just...
boozing and whoring, for instance.
Uncle, I can...
Perhaps you were busy, causing mayhem in the middle of the night and beating up my subjects.
No, it wasn't... Henry and I were just...
Henry's as big a fool as you are. But he's not my ward, thank Christ.
Я просто всех на турнире
What the hell do
победил
the
и
pair of
все.
you think you're doing? There are people in this fiefdom who work from dawn to dusk to put food on their tables and on yours, may I remind you. And then they look at you, Hans, their lord and master, and see a drunken layabout. That fellow you beat up last night was a guard, a new guard on the town watch. And he couldn't report for duty this morning because of his injuries. I had the bailiff here complaining, and could I tell him what I really think about this whole sorry affair? Of course not. That would demean me. And you too. So I had to sit gaping like a stuffed owl and listen to his grievances. Maybe you think because you're the lord here you can get away with anything. But you're sadly mistaken, you blockhead. A lord remains a lord only as long as he commands the loyalty of his subjects. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you the folk here are not exactly enchanted at the prospect of having you in charge. That was the last straw, Capon. One more of your escapades and I'll send you to your mother in Polnar. For all I care, she can dress you up like a wench and marry you off to some Hungarian.
Uncle, that arson... Archibald tried to murder me. What was I to do?
Oh, don't exaggerate. Well, I'm hardly surprised after you molested his girl and humiliated him.
I was only...
Oh,
I'm
don't whine, for heaven's
sorry.
sake. It's about time you started taking some responsibility. I have a job for you. Maybe that will keep you out of mischief. Sir Milota of Oleshna has turned up here. Do you know him?
Isn't he Sir Bernard's cousin?
He is. He came here with the remnants of his retinue to seek refuge. He's seriously wounded.
What happened to him, sir?
His fortress Oleshna was attacked by one Wulfrin of Camburg. Milota pursued him almost as far as Neuhof and engaged with him. Unfortunately, the skirmish didn't end well for Milota.
Wulflin of Camberg. That name is familiar.
He's kin to the Oleshna lords, too, a cousin of Bernard's and Milota's. Their family affairs are a little complicated. None of my business, of course. I just wish they'd found somewhere else to thrash out their differences.
What do you want us to do, sir?
Go and see Bernard in the courtyard. He got a report that Wulflin pillaged some other farms around Neuhof, and he's putting a squad together to ride against him. Mind your step, though. It's a family affair, after all. Maybe more to it than meets the eye. The important thing is to get that damn scavenger out of the domain. If possible, without bloodshed. I can't afford to lose any men over this business. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Uncle.
Get to work, then.
Тут они бухают со всякими шлюхами, как он говорит. А сейчас дают задание, которое, ну, достаточно серьезное, я бы сказал. Так, присоединитесь к отряду, что... Эй, рот закрой свой. Эй, такой, барон-грабитель. Угу, присоединись к отряду Бернарда. И турнир будет опять. Зашел к купцу в Ратае, которому я находил повариху. Можно предложить ему. В принципе, я других купцов-то и не знаю. Этот пойдет.
I need an experienced merchant to help me with the rebuilding of Pribyslavitz. How would you like to move there?
Me, a burger? Go and live in the woods? Hold on. You're actually serious?
Well, yes.
You want me to give up the position I've been building for myself here for years? I'd have to be mad, young fellow. No. You should try and find someone else who knows about numbers, weights, and measures. Take care now.
Понятно, пошел в жопу. Прибежал я к косуле. Нормально все. Как дела, спрашивают. Да, прибежал я к ребятам присоединиться, потому что задание на время, оказывается. Привет.
Sir Hanish sent me, Captain. I'm to join your mission. And Sir Hans, too.
Ah, you deigned to join us. We're honored.
Перестаньте. Прошу прощения.
I'm sorry.
That's as much use to me as a shield to a dead man. And mount up. Let's move out.
Пройти обучение, может быть, хочешь? Опа, телепортировалась. А вы так умеете?
Lord Capon, when we get there, I'd like you to hold back.
You can forget about that, Bernard. I'm not going on an outing.
Ah!
Said to
Are
handle
you
this matter,
blind, for
and
Christ's
handle
sake?
it I would.
There's people walking
О чем вы там говорите?
Forget it.
Интересно, надо будет договариваться?
Listen,
Ну, знаешь, там... Вроде не хочется каких-то потерь, Гануш сказал. Давай я выпью вот это. Красноречие на 5. Ну, использую хотя бы разочек, а так вдруг пригодится.
Grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna. Wolfen belongs to a distant branch of my family, which... Let's just say they bring no honor to our name.
but I heard Wolfen of Camden
Состыковать
was
нельзя.
hanged somewhere
На
in
одной
Slade
скорости нельзя
after
бежать.
plundering the
Тупость.
bishop's estates.
I heard the same. Only, well, I'm sure you've heard what they say about the Camberg branch of my family.
That they're cursed. Now, Bernard, don't you think I'm a little old for fairy tales?
Think what you like, but I heard it from my grandfather, and he never paid attention to old wives' tales.
I meant no offence, Captain. Well, tell me all about it then. After all, there's no smoke without fire, and I never heard about the Camberg clan from a member of the family.
Very well. At home, we always spoke in whispers about our Camberg relatives. When Wolfen's father, Wilhelm, came to visit, I'm almost ashamed to say it.
You can rely on my discretion, Captain. Carry on.
Well, the servants were so afraid of him that they went and hid in the barn. Father had them whipped. Even then, they wouldn't go near Wilhelm. They were afraid he cursed them. I couldn't blame them.
Why's that?
Wilhelm's face was so badly disfigured, folk would cross themselves when they saw him. I was afraid of him myself as a boy.
Was he wounded in war?
No, he was born that way. See, his mother, Countess Barbara of Hogwitz, didn't want to marry Wilhelm's father, my grandfather's brother. She never wanted to bear his children. So, she fell pregnant. They say she went to a witch to get rid of the child. Only she ended up having quintuplets. Can you imagine it? 5 babes born in one night?
Jesus Christ!
That's not all. 4 of them didn't live till dawn. Only the 5th survived. And he was disfigured. Wilhelm, they say the witch cheated her. And instead of getting rid of the child, she put the devil's seed inside her.
Good Lord, how dreadful!
Well, Wilhelm carried that with him his whole life. When his own wife was in childbed, he had 7 friars kneeling in her chamber day and night. It didn't stop the rumors, though. When his son, Wolfen, was born, he looked normal enough, but he turned out to be as wild as a stray tomcat.
It seems he hasn't grown out of it.
You're right about that. A few years ago, Wolfen went off to Poland, and Wilhelm got worse and worse. He cursed everything and everyone in his path, started throwing crockery at the servants.
My good man, how about
Загадочник. О, здрасте. Догоняем, ребят.
Wolfen turned up, even though he was supposed to be dead for years. Folk said he was dead. That wouldn't stop the devil spawn.
Sweet Jesus. It sounds a lot more convincing coming from you than the stories my nurses used to tell me. How are we supposed to deal with a monster like that?
Whoa! Midas and Cyril. I sent them to scout ahead.
those bastards will pay for this?
They most certainly will. Let's go. We have to make camp. Hamlin, we'll take 2 men and come back here later. I won't have Vitus and Cyril left as crow meat.
Yes, Captain.
А как ты узнал, что это они? Я их давно-давно уже здесь видел. Прискакали туда, где мы охотой занимались. С татчиком.
Greetings.
Вольфен из Камберга.
Tell me, Captain, how come this Wolflin is attacking his own kin?
They say blood's thicker than water, but sometimes I wonder. Look at our king and Sigismund.
So what's the cause of your conflict with Wolflin?
Nothing in particular, just that he's a ruffian, a treacherous bastard, and a bandit. No wonder the whole Camber clan is cursed.
В каком вы родстве?
How are you related?
Milota, Wolfin, and I have the same great-grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna.
Урбан. Тезка в монастыре работает. Проклят?
How do you mean cursed?
Like I said, Wolfin's grandfather married Countess Barbara of Hogwitz. She didn't want to bear his child and went to a witch to get rid of it. Only instead of getting rid of the unborn child, she ended up having 5.
What, all at the same time?
All in one night. But only one of them lived till morning. The youngest, Wilhelm. And his face was disfigured. They say the witch deceived the countess, and it was Satan himself who impregnated her.
Вы верите в эти сказки?
And you believe that story?
Depends how you look at it. Wilhelm wasn't a bad man while he was in his right mind, but he was terrifying to look at. I still get shivers down my spine when I think of him. As for Wolfen, word came that he died in Silesia. Then, one day, he appeared from nowhere. There are folk who say death has no power over him.
Что дальше?
What do we do now?
First, we have to find out where those Horsons are holed up. According to the reports, they raided a few farms around here. So someone should go to those places and find out what they can. You should do it, Henry. My men would probably just startle them.
Это не опасно?
Isn't it dangerous?
About as dangerous as sitting here in the camp.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, sir. Where are the farms they raided?
One is uphill from Neuhof, right by the woods. One here above the woods by the crossroads, directly north from our camp. Take care.
Так. Осмотри, осмотри. Угу, мы находимся здесь. Ну, можно сюда, а можно сюда. Здесь же жили ребята, у которых, помнишь, я у них воровал что-то. Не помню что, но я что-то у них брал. Ну, давай сбегу на северное. Ну и здесь мы были тоже неоднократно. Возможно, я даже вот это и наблюдал. Типа выжженную траву какую-то странную. И то ли никого здесь не было, то ли были, но я к ним зашел и такой типа воу-воу, ладно, и ушел. Ну, раз ты не спишь.
God save.
Барон-разбойник.
Captain Bernard sent me. It's about that attack.
Well, they came, took everything they could, and rode off again. I don't know what else I can tell you.
We're trying to catch up with that gang, so I need to hear every detail you can tell me.
What do you want to know?
Сколько их здесь было?
How many of them were there?
2 or 3. I'm not sure. My head's still in a spin.
Куда направились?
Which way did they go?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. My husband made me hide indoors, and I only saw them through the window.
So your husband was outside?
Yes, he tried to parley with them.
Что они взяли?
What did they take?
Not much. We haven't a pot to piss in, which I told them in no uncertain terms as soon as they came here.
So you're telling me they came here, you told them there was nothing worth taking, and they just rode off again, without further ado?
More or less.
Это меня не устраивает.
But just a while ago, you told me you were indoors the whole time.
Yes, I was. Mostly.
So, were you inside or outside? Did you talk to them or not?
Well, like I say, it was confusing. I don't remember much.
Это меня не устраивает.
Let's get one or two things straight. I'm here under orders from Captain Bernard, and that robber baron who came here crippled his cousin and killed 2 of his men.
What's that got to do with me?
Just so you know, the captain is very keen to see justice done, and it would not be wise to obstruct him.
My God, what have I done to deserve this?
So, what really happened here?
First, promise me you'll get rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
They came a few days ago, took a pig and a sack of apples. We put up no resistance. I noticed one of them had an injured leg, so I offered to treat it for him.
Почему? Они же пришли вас грабить.
Why would you help those cutthroats?
They didn't behave violently towards us, and I thought it would be best to keep them happy. At least they left me some apples.
Go on. What happened then?
They rode off, and I prayed we'd seen the last of them. Only the same evening, they came back again. One of them had been wounded, and they wanted me to take a look at him. They gave me some coin and took me to their camp. And in the morning I came home again.
Отведи меня в их лагерь, я понимаю, они вам угрожали. Вы настолько глупы. Отведи меня в лагерь.
So you know where they're camped? I'd like you to lead me there.
I won't go to their camp, no. But I know of a place where you'll have a good view of it.
That'll do me.
Take care.
Так, вернулись к ним и пошли сюда, понятно. Ну, тут я тоже бегал.
I'm
Давно,
not going
давно.
any further. If they saw me, I'd be done for. The camp's not far away in this direction.
Thanks. And don't worry. I'll deal with those bastards.
I pray you do.
Так. Можно осмотреть южное крестьянское хозяйство. А чё тут? Найди лагерь. А я нахожусь вот здесь где-то.
Looks like I found it. I'd better get back and report to Captain Bernard.
Ага. Посмотри южное. А, уже такой, what's going on? Ну, можно было пойти туда. Я не знаю, есть ли смысл в южное ходить. Решил не проверять, не перезагружаться, плевать на этот южный хутор. Я выяснил, что нужно сделать, и все. Я выяснил, где лагерь. Так, а где ты? Стражник, стражник. Этот уже... Этот развалился. Пропустил тебя, братан. Нашел лагерь.
I found that encampment.
Ah, I'm glad to hear it. Is it far?
Not really.
How many men did you see?
Видел бы я их. Я их не считал.
Sorry, I don't know.
Next time, make sure you do. Don't you know anything about scouting? Well, it's not like we have any choice but to attack. It's time that mad bastard was hanging from the Rattay ramparts.
Не лучше ли будет вступить в переговоры? Я, кстати, тогда перезагрузился и краснобай не пил, потому что, видишь, я гулял очень долго. Вот сейчас его выпью.
Wouldn't it be better to parley with them, sir?
Parley with robbers? You must be out of your mind, lad.
Мы ничего не потеряем, если попробуем договориться.
Sahanish ordered me to avoid unnecessary casualties.
What are you trying to say?
I could go and parley with Wolflin. Even if it comes to nothing, I could have a good look at his encampment.
Bit of spying could well be of use, all right. And Wolfland's a conceited bastard. If he knows you come from me, he'll receive you just for a chance to tell me to go to hell. I'll give you a livery with my coat of arms, so it's clear you're my messenger. And you'll have to go unarmed.
Thank you, Captain. I'll do my best.
I hope so. Try and come back in one piece. I don't want to explain to Sir Radzig why I sent his favorite into a robber baron's camp unarmed.
Да я сбегу сразу, если чё. Теперь переговор, переоденься в цвета. Так, Ваффенрог из лесницы. Ага, тряпку какую-то мне дал. И без оружия, получается. Хорошо. Но ты видел, у меня там что-то 13 плюс... Что-то 13 плюс 7. Так, может быть, мне и пить не надо? Да я что-то прям так сорвался сразу, я не хотел их считать. Хотя да, надо было. Но сейчас разведаю все. Чё, ля такой?
What do you want?
I'm Captain Bernard's envoy. I'm here to parley.
Why should I trust you?
I'm unarmed. What harm can I do?
That's true. And you are wearing Sir Bernard's colours. I suppose I should take you to Sir Wolflin. But if you try any tricks, you'll regret it. Understood?
You have my word.
Но он в тряпочках, так что этого парнишу я бы зарубил одной стрелой. Иди за часовым, а если я пойду вперед? Да все, я за тобой, за. Что-то у вас тут так темно. Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Who do we have here? What's your name, boy?
Henry, I'm a messenger from...
I know. From my beloved cousin, Sir Bernard of Oleshna. So, what exactly is your message?
На фоне сообщений видишь, кто сидит из отряда Куна? Так, вы можете уйти, если оставите награбленное добро. Можете уйти, оставить добро и заплатить штраф. Выкуп. Вы можете уйти и взять с собой все награбленное. Мы разрешим спор при помощи поединка. Я слышал, что ваша семья проклята. И почему вы нападаете на властителя Олешна? Но вот это я спрашивать не буду, потому что это, знаешь, бывают диалоги такие, когда ты что-то сказал, и все, он идет дальше. Часть вариантов пропадает. Причем он сказал, что какое конкретное у тебя сообщение. Поэтому... What is your message exactly? Тогда поугараю, скажу ему, вали, оставь все награбленное, еще и заплати выкуп.
We offer you safe conduct out of this domain if you leave everything you stole from Sir Hanish's subjects and pay 30 groschen in compensation.
That's a very generous offer. But tell me, why should I accept?
13 плюс 7 работает? Это вообще считается, потому что бывало нет. Бывало это не работает. Местные жители жаждут крови разбойников, по Нагануша могущественные союзники, например, понравятся. Может быть, вот эти вот в скобочках циферки, они не совсем то отображают, что кажется на первый взгляд. То есть это не 20 красноречия, а там, не знаю, это повышает вероятность успеха. Понял? То есть 13-14 вероятность успеха ниже. 14-14 вероятность успеха, ну, знаешь, 15 и 14 вероятность успеха 100% или выше, чем 100. Ну, ты понял, короче. А ты всегда будешь побеждать, условно. А 13 плюс 7, вот этих в скобках, это повышает вероятность, но не гарантирует успех. То есть у меня тут 20, 14. Нет, типа это не так. Ну, давай попробуем. Я выпил, кстати, краснобая.
Don't you know what's been going on around here recently?
Should I?
Bandits have been on the rampage all over the county. Cutthroats raided a nearby stud farm, and the locals have had enough of it.
No doubt, but I've nothing to do with that.
Try telling them that. On the way here, the captain recruited men from half the county. He intends to make an example of you.
Why me? No doubt you've plenty to choose from.
Because you're the first one who's had the gall not to run. So you'll be the first one they catch, and I'm sure you can imagine what will happen then.
And why warn me? Why parlay at all if there are so many of you?
So Hanush wants to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. He'd be happier if you just moved on somewhere else, so he sent me to bargain with you.
You're saying it wasn't Bernard's idea?
If the captain knew I came here in his colours, he'd flay me alive.
The devil take it. There's nothing here worth pillaging anyway. All right. I accept your offer. Tell your captain we'll move on.
Don't forget to leave the loot and 60 groschen, too.
There's no denying you're a good negotiator, lad. Oh well. No doubt we'll find easier pickings elsewhere. Better run along before Bernard loses patience.
А, прикол. Он так медленно шел, у него такая морда вот с этим углом обзора. Подожди, это я? Похож на меня. То вот из-за него вспомнил игру Мор, Утопия. Вот так медленно и так крупно лицо персонажа к камере. Там же, когда начинаешь диалог, то во время диалога ты очень близко видишь лицо персонажа. И вот он такой медленно вот так вот качает головой. Иногда бывают какие-то движения другие делает. И огромные тучи текста читаешь. Но интересно. Глядишь, я в нее и поиграю, кстати, на запись. Так, теперь мне бы вообще разобраться, в какую мне сторону... А, все, понял. Лошадка. Бурак, ты мой ориентир. И... Кстати, ремастер вышел. Или как его правильно это назвать? Ремейк, ремастер. Мор, Утопии. Так что да, можно будет поиграть. Можно поиграть и в старую, и в новую. Можно ни в одну не играть. Классно, когда ты чувствуешь себя свободным. Что за херню несу? Все, давай, забирай свои тряпки вот эти вот. И мне нужно отдавать потроха мяснику. Вот, а мне приходится заниматься вашей херней вот этой. Я вернулся.
I've just come back from Wolflin, Captain.
And in one piece, I see. That's something at least, but I doubt you achieved anything.
I talked them into moving out. Not only that, but they left all their loot and 70 groschen too, as compensation.
I can hardly believe it. That turned out a lot better than I expected. The coin is for Sir Hanush, I expect.
Naturally.
Well then, take the money and ride to Ratai. In the meantime, we'll break camp and make sure those bastards keep their part of the bargain.
Right, Captain. I'll be on my way.
And Henry, nice work. Take care.
Все. Ля, прилег поспать. Вот здесь. Ля, вот ублюдок, не дали мне поспать с бичами. Вообще, какая хер разница тебе, что я тут делаю? Почему они вообще здесь? Почему не поменялось? Ну, знаешь, типа, искали... Я думал, вот эта фигня, кстати, логично было поселена, пропала. Ну, понял? Типа, я в Прибыславицу людей, пожалуйста, работайте, пригласил. У меня тут рядом кровать, а я просто с бомжами прилег. Ништяк.
Greetings.
Барон-разбойник.
I have news from the camp, Sir Hanush.
Speak.
I persuaded Captain Bernard to let me parley with Wolflin.
Bernard agreed. I'm surprised.
So was I. I promised Wolflin safe conduct out of your territory on condition he leave all the loot he took and pay 70 groschen in compensation.
Well done. It will take Bernard a while to get over his disappointment at not being able to get revenge. But the important thing is, we're rid of that troublemaker. I must say, Henry, after all that's happened recently, I'm glad something finally turned out well.
So am I, sir.
And I think you deserve to be rewarded for your efforts.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Какой-то панцирь мне дал. Что за панцирь? Магдебургский. Вроде у меня такой был. Он хуже по всем параметрам, чем крашеная миланская бригантина.
I hope I can be.
Прибежал мигом к
game.
мяснику.
Goods for you, Master Butcher.
Let's take a look at it then.
Почти 56. Я думаю, что когда меньше 50 будет, он скажет, что за херня. Не будет считаться.
Looks good. Here's something for your effort. Another job for you. One of the merchants was asking for deer liver. Try and get me some.
All right.
Просто хорошо.
With you.
Просто печень достань и все. Ладно, окей.
I'm at your service.
Решил заглянуть к оружейнику Ябеде, который здесь. У него задание висит. Раз я в составе, ну выполнил уж я это. А потом спрошу про оружейников Прибыславицу. У тебя случайно нет работы?
Any chance of some work?
Кстати, да, можно в Прибыславицу
Come to
пригласить.
think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Обманщик тот самый.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the
У
famed
меня
Czech
один
Queen
есть.
of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword. Can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Случайно пропустил. Царица Савская была чешской королевой?
Are you sure the Queen of Sheba's a Czech queen?
Who else would she be? Have you not heard of her? Our some priest. She's in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
От этой истории про паломника несет враньем.
Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
Какой силой обладал меч?
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Где мне искать части?
Where can I find the powers?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the Ratai swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
Ты не продашь его мне?
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price, but this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Ratai couldn't manage it.
Все это странно, да сделаю.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well.
Но пока я не буду спрашивать его Прибыславицу. Соберите 5 фрагментов. 5 фрагментов, прикинь. Вот, у меня одна из 5 есть. Ну, и он рассказал, что какой-то пилигрим, бла-бла-бла, по пути из Иерусалима предлагал купить фрагменты меча, кузнец хотел бы заполучить. И все, откуда я должен помнить? Но с другой стороны, ладно, запомню. Он сказал, что раскупили кузнецы. Ну, к оружейникам, короче, разных мест. 5 деталей, да? Это что получается? Если он хочет, значит, здесь этого не должно быть. Больше тут мечника нет. Значит, есть, ну, самопеж, раз. Потом... Да, здесь тоже нет. Здесь тоже нет. 2, 3. Ну, видимо, надо что-то искать. Короче. Причем я не помню, где я нашел. Я вроде у него не лазил. А вот здесь я лазил. Еще давно, когда надо было что-то там найти по заданию по поводу воров, нищим там что-то найти, где-то нашел осколок. Но я могу ошибаться, потому что это было в начале прохождения. А вот это, кстати, появилось после задания, когда Гануш говорил, иди там Бернарду помоги, договорись. Вот, это дополнение. Там с Яном Птачиком любовная линия какая-то. Но я надеюсь, это не связано с его ртом и моим писюном. Или тем более наоборот. Так, ну, ладно. Раз такое задание, найду потом. Ну, то есть главное, что я взял, все, хорошо. Но можно забежать еще в корчму. Плевал я на эту корчму, пришел, рядом находится с оружейником кузнец. Можно спросить, ищу части меча царицы Савской.
I'm looking for pieces of a sword that a pilgrim from the Holy Land was selling. Would you happen to know anything about it?
I would. Of course I would.
Well?
It's a load of tripe. Only a fool would have given that trickster a single groschen, and I'm no fool. How about you?
But if he lied about that sort of stuff, it would be a terrible sin.
Don't be so gullible, lad. That bastard never saw the Holy Land, unless it was in a fresco.
Расскажи мне о кузнецах.
What can you tell me about the Sasau blacksmiths?
There's too many of us, I'll tell you that for free. This is only a small town. There's Zach, who has a forge in the craftsman's yard and mostly works on the construction of the church. And then, apart from me, there's Master Armourer Otter of Ramstein.
Zach.
Tell me more about Zach.
Don't have much time for him myself. He knows his craft, no question. But he seems to think his son, Vitus, will be a master armourer in Prague one day.
My father was a blacksmith, and I expect he thought much the same about me. That's how fathers are, isn't it?
Of course, any man should be proud of his boy. But Zach makes pride a sin. That's why he's at loggerheads with Master Otter.
Master Otter?
Can you tell me something about Master Otter?
Well now, there's a master to look up to. He's worked for the lords of Kunstadt and for the richest townsfolk of Prague.
If you don't mind my asking, what brings him here?
The same as draws all reasonable people. He's enjoying the peace and quiet. Or rather, he used to enjoy some peace. That dispute with Zach must have put a few more wrinkles on his brow.
Почему не ладят они?
What are Zach and Master Otter arguing about?
Zach had his boy Vitus trained as an armourer in Kuttenberg, and he wanted to buy out Otter's place for him. Except that Otter's a proud man. How would it have looked? A master armourer giving way to a young whippersnapper who's barely let go of his mother's skirts? And they've been arguing ever since. Well, Zach mostly. He badmouths Otter every chance he gets. He claims that he's only fit for mending pots and that his son will see him off.
That will be all. Thank you.
Ты работаешь с медью?
Do you ever work with copper here?
No, and even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Zach from the monastery craftsman's yard has bought out all the copper. Goodbye.
Окей. Что-то монастырь оказывается таким плохим, греховным местом. Конечно же, я пойду поговорю с Заком и мастером. А что появилось-то? Купец. Такое ощущение, будто раньше такого... А чё, типа... Его тут не было, что ли? Художник по фрескам. Вы не знаете, где здесь можно купить ртуть? Так, погоди. Так сразу в лоб. А где... Подожди, ты на меня похож был. А где... А, ты... Либо снаружи, или просто метки такие странные. Ну, значит, внутри где-то. Давай про... Ладно. Не буду пока спрашивать. А где ты? Вот в этой комнате? Никого нет. Значит, наверное, бухает. Ага. А вот и Зах, кстати. Ну-ка.
God save you.
Мне нужен броник. Вы работаете с медью. И что вы можете сказать о кузнецах? Работаешь с медью?
Do you work any copper here, Master Blacksmith?
Why'd you ask?
Мне нужно кое-что изготовить.
I'd want to commission you to make something.
Then you best go elsewhere. I never use copper.
А мне сказали другое. Ясно.
Ah.
Что вы можете сказать о кузнецах Сазавы?
What can you tell me about the Sasau blacksmiths?
Well, there's Mikesh. He's honest enough, and a fair-hand at everyday things. And then there's Master Otter. He used to have talent, but now he's too old, and too proud to admit it.
Еще части меча царицы Савской.
The swordsmith from the town said he was after the pieces of a sword from some Queen of Sheba. A pilgrim was selling them a while back.
I know he's after those, but he's out of luck. He should have bought it while he had the chance. I still have mine on me. It brings me good fortune, and I shan't sell it.
Not even...
Not even for a king's ransom.
Ну тогда ты лишился своей удачи, братан.
Take care.
Я хотел с ним поговорить, чтобы выяснить, типа, где там задание, связанное с сотой, но, видимо, мне с мастером нужно пойти поговорить. Но сначала с этим.
So, what did Master Pfeiffer have to say?
I consulted him, and we definitely have a starting point.
Tell me more.
Master Pfeiffer found out they need copper sheets for the core of the coins, and quicksilver for the the other part?
I see. They have such materials at the monastery.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in the local forges.
Yes, that is good. Yesterday, I heard people from the craftsman's yard by the monastery complaining. They said they could not sleep at night because the blacksmith works all the time till dawn.
I see. That's certainly worth asking about. Have you heard anything else?
You said they use quicksilver. There is a painter lodging here who is painting the church in Ujits. I heard him complain also. He said that he went to the monastery for quicksilver and it was all gone.
Well, that's something to follow up as well. Thanks.
Пойду к купцу. Хотя... Сколько она будет перебирать эти тарелки? Она просто мимо меня прошла, и все, ей похер. Я просто слышал, что она прошагала. Сыр, ключ. Опа. Такая удача тебя, братишка, окружает, что ты всего лишился, что у тебя в карманах было. Так, художник, здорово. Ртуть.
I hear you've had some problems with the supply of quicksilver.
Problems? I should say so. For the third time this month they've told me they've none. There's no quicksilver to be had, they said.
And who exactly are you talking about? Who's holding back the goods on you?
The monastery overseer, or his assistant, more like.
So what did the overseer have to say to you?
Nothing. Apparently he doesn't deal in such trifles. Leaves it all to his assistant, the pompous git.
Кто не продает вам товар?
Surely such valuable material can't just vanish. Where can it be?
I wish I knew. Every time I ask for the red paint, there's a different reason why they haven't got the quicksilver to mix it. Once they said the goods never arrived, and another time that the wagon carrying it was ambushed. Then it went astray somewhere.
And you think they're lying?
Jesus, what do I know? But it seems pretty strange to me. 3 times in a row the same thing goes missing. There's bad luck and then there's something else.
Зачем вам нужна ртуть?
What do you need quicksilver for?
I don't. They do. To mix up the red pigment for me. I'm painting the church in Ujits. Can you imagine how stupid those biblical scenes look without red?
Not really.
Then be glad you can. My eyes hurt just to imagine it.
Спасибо.
That's all I need to know for now.
Ah. But wouldn't you care to buy something before you go? Or play a game? I really need some money. I've been waiting here a while and my stay's getting expensive.
А что на продажу?
Why not? Show me what you have to offer.
Состояние торговца 0. Жизнь в корчме. Алкоголизм. Карта сокровищ. 3. Ладно, на тебе деньги. Раз ты такой бич. Хорошо. А чё хорошего-то? Продолжи свое расследование в кабинете смотрителя, узнай, откуда ФМШ достали ртуть, фальшивые монетчики. И узнай, кто в созаве работает с медью.